being a Black American is, with the global presence that we have in our culture, with the copycatting that happens in our culture, with the denial of our culture, it's up to us to like morally take a high road when it comes to certain shit. So like being xenophobic doesn't help anybody, right?
No.
Being exclusionary of other cultures throughout the diaspora, even if sometimes y'all do that to us, that ain't our role.
So, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, the BlackAnglosaxon. I'm back again, your favorite neighborhood political scientist. As y'all just seen, floor discussion. We're going to get into it today. Deante Kyle, that's his name. And I want to say the young lady is Monaleo. And we're going to be talking about the difference, first off, between delineation and disaggregation. But just the overall, what I think idiosyncrasies are and the contradictions of how people insist on Black Americans move, more specifically ADOS. I know a lot of people use the FDA term analogy. Me in particular, I do not, just based on several reasons, which I'll discuss a little bit further. But first things first is please hit the like button, hit the share button. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. But I would just like to start off by saying that I think the conversation is very disingenuous that we continue to have and that I continue to see, especially around, if you listen to his rhetoric and you listen to the positionality of how he wants us to move, it is a lot of what I would say, because he accused in the longer clip of us being racist or undercover Black supremacists, white supremacists, or however he tried to frame it. But basically him, as well as consciously, use words like Zionist and being attached to the Democratic Party, etc. But what I don't think that they understand is that what they're asking us as Black Americans, the ADOS community, to accept is the fact that we are being disrespected and there is no reciprocity in terms of the exchange that is happening when it comes to the diaspora, right? Because his thing is we should have the higher moral ground. And the only thing that I would say to that, and the question that I would pose to him is, and Monaleo, is where has that gotten us up until this point? We've had boomers, Xers, and silent Jenners all participate in that ideology when it comes to, quote unquote, turning the other cheek, whether it be to white supremacy or whether it be to those who are Black in phenotype, but ideologically align themselves with whiteness. And we see a lot of that. And I would just pose the question and ask them, does it make sense to you to continue down this path? Because what you're asking is the very exact opposite of what I've heard you speak to in terms of what Black people, ADOS people should be doing as it relates to white supremacy, right? So we also, as ADOS people, have to hold, yes, those who look like us phenotypically, but are aligning and moving operationally as a quote unquote white supremacist. I'm not sure if they're aware or not, but they don't necessarily seem to grasp it, understand how we have these systems. Again, they talk about imperialism and they talk about all of these different things, and I'll touch on that a little bit too later in terms of the contradictions. But I don't think they understand the global labor arbitrage and the system that's set up in terms of how it is systemic to bring those who look like you, but ideologically do not align with you. And even those who do are being put in a system who don't necessarily understand the history. So that's how we even get into these conversations with people talking about we don't necessarily have culture. But if you look at Mona Lea's videos, all of that is steeped in and souped in Black American ADOS culture, right? But she comes out in the clip before, it wasn't in this one, and says, F everybody, right? F y'all, if y'all on this type of time, I'm more supporting, if y'all don't support all Black people, etc., I don't bang with you, quote unquote, right? That doesn't make sense. On one hand, you are propagating and monetizing, and this is the transaction that's happening that people want us to be okay with. You can monetize, traffic in, propagate, and use Black American ADOS culture as a coattail to ride yourself to success, but you also heard the Ryan Coogler's of the world, what's my man name that play in Creed? Jordan, I forget his name. We know who I'm talking about. The dude that played in Sinners, and him and Ryan Coogler is always paired up. My man Killmonger. But he's also been on record to talk about how he feel as though Black Americans, ADOS, don't necessarily have Black culture. And what they don't understand is that the people who are coming here are using our institutions like Essence, BET, the corporate access that we built to create bridges for them to take advantage of, for them to operate in, the HBCUs, all of these things are part of the cultural lineage that we've been able to give them access to even make it possible for them to come here. Even when we talk about the policy prescriptions that have been given to us, specifically ADOS, Black American people, have allowed for them to come and access the policy prescriptions as well as all of the other cultural value that they are able to then monetize and reach levels that they have, because people will often say, well, why aren't Black Americans doing it? Because they don't necessarily have the trauma, the triage attached to. And when I say triage, I'm talking about all of the things that have happened throughout the American legacy, whether it be slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, and all of those different things. Because it's not just as simple as I see phenotype and I see Black. No, the way that we speak, the way that we do things, the way that we move, the way that we dress, all of those things are qualifiers and cues to actual white supremacists who create the systems to know that you might get caught in the fray, but you are not them. Because it's the same thing for poor white people. People will say, oh, well, poor white people are poor just like y'all. No, they happen to be poor, but they are caught in the fray of quote unquote white supremacy. Even though they're impacted by it, they are not the actual initial targets of it. So yes, people of color abroad, Black people abroad, do get impacted by quote unquote white supremacy, but also at the same time, you are not the main targets. The main targets are Black American ADOS people. And I make that very clear because a lot of people will sit up here on the internet and talk about, well, oh, we're all the same. And it happens all of the same. No, it does not. So what I would, again, ask Deante Kyle and the Monaleo and all of the other people who feel similarly to them is to just ask yourself, why do you think that it is okay for people to disrespect us and that we continue to turn the other cheek? And when you answer that, then ask the question, what do you think we get from that? Or how strategic is that to survive in an ecosystem that is predicated on monetizing your cultural, social, and political capital? Because in that disrespect, they have convinced us that we are nothing and then come under to subvert that. And those are just the questions. And what I would just encourage them to do is reach out to Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, who are the leaders of ADOS and have a conversation with them. Just have a conversation with them so that you all can understand that this is not about hatred. This is not about delineation. That's an FBA thing. This is not about just completely throwing away all different groups of quote Black people, but it is about holding people accountable. It is about disaggregation because disaggregation is strategic. It creates precision. And again, have these conversations. You should reach out. Deante Kyle, Monaleo, whoever. Have these conversations. Platform Yvette Cornell. Platform Antonio Moore. Because they have the precision. They have the policy prescriptions to solve and address a lot of these issues. But the disaggregation is important. And I've said it on previous videos. Here in DC, I use it as an example because it's on a small level. And for those who can scale it up, scale it up. And for those who cannot, deal with where we are, right? In DC, we have literally a mayor's office on all different cultural backgrounds. African affairs, African American affairs, Latino affairs, Asian Pacific Islanders, etc. There are monies, there are studies, there are all different things that come out of those offices to specifically address and give resources in a number of ways to those specific groups. You, as an ADOS, African American person, can't go to African affairs or Latino affairs, etc., because those monies are divided up. But when you say that everybody is Black the same, what has happened is everybody else can dip in that pot of ADOS, African American people. And so that pot is, we can't pull from the pot, but they also get to go back to their own pots and access their own cultural capital and access their own and begin to build their own policy initiatives, their own think tanks, their own institutions that they usually carve us out of, right? And so it's not just disrespect, but if we really want to have a real honest conversation, there was no real allyship to ever begin with because they've been delineating from us the whole time, right? And then let's address this conversation because I keep continuing to hear about, oh, well, y'all called us African booty scratchers and they internalized white supremacy and all of this foolery and nonsense, right? Because y'all getting into all of these isms and all of these schisms that you have been scammed. Because y'all, I don't even know what y'all be thinking about and consuming. I don't know if y'all have ever lived around actual ADOS people or where y'all live. Being called, and this is for anybody who is African or of the continent or coming from Britain or whatever, Indian, whatever, you phenotypically, if you are in a ADOS community, right? I grew up in Southeast DC. Literally, joning in different areas call it different stuff, but being called an African booty scratcher and being made fun of is literally part of our culture that exists when we just kind of spar with each other. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, if I see you as a threat, people are not going to join on somebody they don't know and aren't cool with because the rapport, there has to be a rapport there for me to join on you. And I'm going to tell you like this, you going to get cut up. You going to get flame broiled. I had to learn how to, when I was in elementary and middle school, I used to go home and practice my Jones. Because why? They are going to find something to join on you about. Whether it's your shoe, whether it's your hair, whether it's your pants leg is too tight, or they go and find something. Again, Joe doing something. Again, they got the kids in uniform looking the same. And guess what? Kids are still going to get the flame boiled up because it's going to be something. But understand that ADOS communities, Black communities, have never moved in malice. We've always been taught to commune and be an African ideology. People don't hate any one specific group. Yeah, we going Joan on your ass because we going Joan on your ass. Joan, my sister. Joan, my man. Most of the people I'm cool with, I can call them right now. And they're going to come to my beck and call, and I done fought them. I done fought them. Me and my man skateboard. We in college, we done went to high school, we done played football together. And guess what? We fought in the suites. It's the cups. And guess what we did right afterwards? We got back up, we hugged it out, and I jumped on his ass. Because that's what we do. And you can feel like that's toxic, or you can feel like, oh my God, y'all are kids. But whatever, cool. That's how we address stuff. And yes, we joan on people, but joning on people has nothing to do with hatred. So stop with the disingenuousness. We don't have words that quantify into a racial slur that's on par with the N-word, like a cop. We don't have that. And African booty scratching is not that. Is it true that maybe, yes, we have been fed propaganda in terms of what it looks like to live and be in Africa? Yes. We don't hate y'all because of that. We take that scenery and that imagery and make jokes about it because that's what we do. We make jokes about people being on crack. As distasteful as it is, we do that. Even when we may have that family member on crack. That's crazy. Look, as crazy as it sounds, you don't gotta right now stop trying to make sense of it. I'm just telling you that this whole African booty scratcher or dongo or whatever jokes people then gave y'all, they were jokes. We were kids. You know how many people I done flamed up and made crap that I see today in the neighborhood that we all grew up in? Hey, how you doing? We have a whole conversation. And they might throw a joke because I done joned on them so bad. Like, yeah, I remember that. I'm gonna get your ass though. Because that's what we do. That's part of our culture. But some of y'all, especially some of y'all who are Black, feed into that. Oh, y'all doing that, this. From where y'all from? Where y'all from? Because African booty scratcher is not nowhere near. It's nowhere near the same as a car. And I need y'all to stop it. And I need y'all to stop it. We are not internalizing white supremacy. We are joning on you. We are making jokes about you. Like we make jokes about everybody in the neighborhood, everybody we come across, everybody we see on TV. Black people gonna make a joke about something. It's comedians. That's how we learn to survive and live through the traumas of being castigated in America. But you know what? You gotta make a joke out of it. You gotta just find something. And again, sometimes that works in a very toxic way because everything is not to be joked about. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's why you see Diddy jokes and baby oil jokes and Will Smith getting slapped in the face jokes. Something probably shouldn't be joked about, but we're gonna joke about it. That's what we do. No, I'm not letting y'all get the African booty scratching. It was funny. All they was. But that had nothing to do with hatred. Zero. Big zero. We literally don't block anybody out of anything or anything that we got going on as a group. And that's how we continue to remain at the bar. Because literally, we include everybody, even to our own detriment. So for this guy to sit up here and say, oh yeah, we need to continue to have the moral high ground, how has that worked out? You want to call people out and call people white supremacists and do your little gun stuff? And everybody. Say that to them white donors y'all got. Say that to them white handlers y'all got. Because I done those spaces that I've been in those rooms too. You can dox them. You can look it up. And I want you to make sure you go back to the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. Start off right there. Go all the way up to the top. You can put the prison stuff in there too. I want everything. You can dox me. Pull the whole Jonah. I've been literally public facing my whole life. I had no issue or no concern with it. Go ahead. Because if y'all really want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. I've been in the rooms that y'all want to get in. All that stuff y'all be chasing behind these politicians and chasing behind this group or chasing behind that, chasing behind this little event, that little event. And then you realize that everybody out here scheming and scamming and whamming and bamming. You won't say that to them though. Say F you to them people though, but you won't unless they give you permission to do it. Unless they put you in position to do it so you can be their Bernie Sanders and be just a controlled opposition and being told when it's okay to say F us. Because you're not carrying that. Again, I would even accept it if y'all was carrying the same energy with them people. Y'all can say F us, your own people. And again, I implore you, if you feel that way, talk to Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore about ADOS and what ADOS really stand for and where they align and what they align with. Because it's a lot of stuff, it's a lot of misinformation. And again, you know what? Because I know a lot of people love to, where's that? Look, I was there. The reason I support ADOS is because I've never seen Democratic Party fear anybody like they feared Yvette Carnell or not. That's what made me start paying attention to them. Said, people are talking about, because I seen like a couple videos, and then I seen how people was responding and reacting to the circles. Yeah, I had to go get my, because I want y'all to understand. So again, you can dox me, pull up everything, right? So you see this little jump? See this little jump? And this is why I started supporting Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, right? I want y'all to see that. It's not catching it. It's not catching it. But that's my DNC, official DNC membership, John. It's not catching my name and stuff. But I want y'all to understand that, yes, I am a registered Democrat. But I'm okay with holding them accountable. I'm okay with not getting the promotions and all of the nonsense and the foolery because I understand how it works. But I support ADOS because that was the first time I ever seen fear in these people. And I mean fear. Because of the precision that this lady was talking with. And when I really began to start to watch them, because again, I'm getting, they xenophobic, they this, they that, right? Because them the circles I'm in. Then when I really started watching Yvette, I said, I don't see why they hate her. I started watching Antonio Moore. I said, well, I see why they hate them. Hold on, what is this ADOS thing? Oh, got it. I don't see why they scrambling. It's exposure. They turning the kitchen lights on. This has nothing to do with hatred. What they're talking about is disaggregating so that we can get more precise and have real conversations about what's really happening and how we're being against each other and how Black immigrants are being used to mask data, because when you do these reports and it's aggregated, but when you disaggregate it, and that's the specific difference between ADOS, it's just about disaggregation, not delineation. Because what they want is clarity and precision. And the clarity and precision is important. Because that's how we get to better solutions in a highly complex society. But y'all drinking the Kool-Aid. Y'all hating the wrong people. Y'all going at the wrong people. Because Black Americans and ADOS have every right to push back. and fight for what's theirs. Because y'all are the same people encouraging and fighting for Palestinians. And I have no issue with that. Y'all are the same people who are willing to push forward and tell other groups to take what's theirs. There are so many different things that we have allowed, and which is why we don't have our just due. But what they said and what they're saying is highly, highly problematic, man. And we gotta stop it. We gotta stop being dishonest about these conversations. No, 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 no. We're not all Black the same. A lot of people come from these other countries and are ideologically aligned with whiteness, with power, with access, with the desire to want to fold into whiteness. Because it would defeat the purpose. For most people, they feel like it would defeat the purpose to come to the land of milk and honey and side with Negroes. Because why would I do that? We know that they clobbering y'all over the head. Nobody want to be clobbered too. So I get the instinct, but don't tell Black Americans that they shouldn't push back on to gatekeep our culture, our institutions, our dignity, because you're saying, oh yeah, just let people disrespect you. So you feel the same way about white people? Do you feel the same way about white people? I'll wait. I will wait. Should we keep turning the other cheek dead to them? No. So why should we do it with people just because they look like us? Phenotypically, but culturally aligned, right? The second part is this conversation has been being had for a long while. And I'm gonna go into it because I'm gonna bring a good brother up because I'm gonna pull up Umar because crazily enough, I agree with Umar today, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. I agree with the Prince of Pan-Africanism because he brings up the same point. And I don't even know if he knows that he brought up this same point, right? Because a lot of these people do so much double talk and double speak that they don't even know that their ideologies be conflicting. They be going against themselves. So let me see. We gonna look at my man Umar Ifatunde. Right? Let's go.
I didn't go to the movie to see Mexicans beat up on Black people, okay? The underwater people were Mexicans, okay? They basically gentrified the movie for Mexicans. The Mexican hero, he had more airtime in the movie than anybody from Wakanda. So they it shouldn't even been called Black Panther. It should have been called the gentrification of Black Panther by the Mexicans. But here's the point I want to get to.
Origins breaking him out.
Here's the point that I want to get to. After the Mexican god kills Queen Mother, Angela Bassett, he murders her. Shuri has a chance to murder him back. And instead, she exercises patience and says, we can work together. And what does the Mexican woman say to the Mexican at the end? Why are you forming an allegiance with Wakanda?
Yeah.
You should have destroyed them. And what did he say? Don't worry. They trust us now. The Wakandans are the most powerful surface nation in the world. And we got them while we want them. So even in Black Panther, we don't learn our lesson. We are vicious with each other, never vicious with our enemies. Never vicious with our enemies. You got to force a Black person to spend $1 with another African, but we will give $30 billion to the Korean hair care establishment every single year, and the Koreans have never stood up for Black folks a day in our life. We are literally financing our own oppression, and we don't want to admit it because we do not want to discipline our economic dysfunctional behaviors.
So, there you go. My man, he got on one today. He got on one today. My man Umar got on one today. And I don't even know. Because I see what he tried to do there. Because he said, you know, we won't give Africans no money. We do. Give them more than money. We give them access to cultural capital. We give them access to political capital. We give them access to policy. We give them access to social capital. And that's why they've been able to get ahead. Because not only do they get that access, they don't necessarily reciprocate either. But if you know me, and people who've had personal conversations with me know that I hated Wakanda. Not because it was a good movie. It wasn't a good movie. I think the movie was good. Great job, Ryan Coogler. But you killed my hero. See, my hero was Killmonger. Chadwick Boseman did an interview and he understood that Killmonger was the hero. Because see, what happens is, and this goes again back to the Deante Kyle and Monaleo conversation. If you pay attention to what happened in the first, Wakanda movie, Black Panther, they were working with the CIA. Wakanda was working with the government. Like Winter Soldier and all of that little dude, they were working with the government, right? Fast forward, the father kills, I want to believe his brother or something like that, because his brother understood that when he got sent on his mission, he understood and seen what was going on in LA to these people. So he was like, yo, us Wakandas, you polluting Negroes. Triple. See what you doing to these people who look like us? They're all allies. But they understood that they were different. And that's how we got Killmonger, because Killmonger is his son. Right? Kills Russian. But Killmonger is the noble savage. Killmonger understood that everything that Wakanda had was what Black liberation was, not just Black capitalism. Because see, Wakandas were pacifists. Got all this technology, all this stuff, and you working with the American government, the same people who harming your brother. But a lot of you Negroes are Wakandans, the T'Challas of the world. And I'm like, T'Challas. Instead of calling people charlatans, I'm going to start calling you a bunch of T'Challas. Because the Killmonger was the hero. A lot of y'all are some Galindas. I'm moving on to Wizard of Oz. A lot of y'all are some Galindas. Because with this new wicked thing, we see. Y'all are that buffer. Because this is what's happening here. Deante, Monaleo, do y'all want to be that buffer? Do y'all be that buffer? To essentially us calling out, ADOS, Black American people, calling out the fact that we see what's happening. We see how the Wakandans are being used against us in tandem. That they don't know or understand because they too far apart from what actually happened. They too far apart from the actual history. They too far apart from actually being able to see what's going on. Because for a lot of them, they don't even understand or did not understand what Blackness was until they got to America. And again, I have friends, I have people who are around me who are from the continent and agree with me and would look at you all like y'all crazy. Because yes, we are different, fool. I don't get on them about saying they're not Black because I understand what they mean. It's not self-hatred. They're not Black. They know Black don't exist. But for the ones who play the game and willing to prey on that cultural capital and that policy and all of this stuff and not reciprocate it, they willing to say, yeah, you know what, I am Black. Because the ones who are real will sit here and be like, yeah, nah, I'm not Black. I'm not ADOS. I'm not none of that. That's not what we doing. Because that's not real. I didn't even know that this was happening. I didn't even know that this was going on, right? So let's be honest. Let's stop being T'Challa's. Let's stop being Galindas and protecting the Oz, protecting the wizard. A calling out has to happen. Disaggregation has to happen. Not a delineation, a disaggregation. Because let's be 100%. For all of y'all who, oh, I'm a masters of this, a masters of that, sense does it make? And I'm just asking a question. Sense does it make to try to be against race, continue to add to it? And what do you mean by that, the Black Anglo? What do you mean? Well, deconstruction is disaggregation. But y'all went and took it, added a whole other category, which is brand. The construct of race. Because what is brand? Is brown. Black and brown was not always a thing. Black and white was. But how did we get to brown? I'm brown. Am I brown? No. What is brown? How are we defining brown? This is just a question. But this aggregation is the deconstruction of race. That's racism. Yeah, we want white people to come up out of it too. Because what is white? Are you Scottish? Are you German? Are you Irish? Are you Ukrainian? Are you Indian? And you got to even break theirs down. But they got a lot up in there. Are you Korean? Are you Japanese? Are you Chinese? We want y'all. What y'all want to throw yellow in there? Y'all want to throw another color in there? Y'all want to keep adding to the lexicon of race? No, the disaggregation is precision of deconstructing it. It's not hatred. It's not hatred. It's not xenophobia. Love. It's the answer. It's the solution. Because you get better policy prescriptions from it. If I can pinpoint and what exactly I'm talking to based on where they are, at what point they came into America, how they came into America, and how they've been afflicted or not afflicted by America. Because everybody don't deserve the same thing. Will there be some overlap? Yeah. But everybody wasn't here at the same time. Everybody didn't go through the same thing in the same way. Everybody wasn't fighting for the same thing. So y'all keep adding to it because you're a bunch of Galindas. Y'all keep giving the wizard more tools. And don't even know it, don't even understand it. Again, reach out to Yvette Carnell, reach out to Antonio Moore. They got the answers. I didn't listen to them enough. They got the answers. They got the answers. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, because again, this ain't about me. Y'all keep asking for solutions. They got them. They have them. I'm telling you, they have them. But y'all don't listen. Y'all hear with y'all emotion. Y'all not trying to really understand. Y'all still worried about just being and having a high oil run. But yet, y'all the same people who gonna argue on the side of Jasmine Crockett, conceding the moral high ground. And saying, you know what, now I'm gonna talk just like this rabbit maniac and keep it pushing. Not holding that. But then you want us to flip around when it comes to somebody who share the same phenotype, we gotta maintain. No, because they being Galindas. They know what they doing, they being Galindas. So let's be honest with these conversations. Please. Please. And thank you. Because I'm really, really tired and sick of hearing Oh, yeah. And then y'all be talking cold cash shit. What? That's what we doing? And for all y'all highly educated people, man, is this a whole nother video? Don't nobody care. All these think pieces are, look, a lot of people duck politics. And I'm talking about the epicenter of politics because every industry has its own political arm, right? I'm not here to even try to insinuate that y'all stupid like that. Every industry has its own political arm. But the epicenter, where it's just raw power, and that's all people care about, raw power. Don't nobody give a damn about how much you know. Because if you cannot weaponize it, it do not matter. If you're not willing to step on and crush somebody's neck, it do not matter. If you're not willing to starve out a family, it do not matter. You can read 1,000 million books. If you ain't willing to take what's in the book and use it and weaponize it, it does not matter. If you, all y'all alpha males, if you not willing to jump into politics, you are not an alpha male. Because that's where the power, the money, that's where the real shiznai's goes down. And a lot of y'all don't want to jump into it because you scared and you ducking that wreck and you really not trying to see where it goes down. You not. You not. Y'all just want to chase a bag and eventually, again, the people who really do this, the real thugs on the other side, who just care about raw power and domination, they're going to figure out a way to get that bag up off you when they get the bag up and fleece the easy, low-hanging fruit. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all with Deante Kyle and this whole, and Monaleo and this whole FU, y'all need to take the moral high ground now, or are we tripping? Because, again, y'all can keep the FBA stuff over there. I know I didn't get into it, and I said I would, but not get into it was my whole point. ADOS, reach out to Yvette Cornell. Reach out to Antonio Moore, Deante Kyle, and actually talk to them, platform them, bring them on. It would be an amazing conversation. Especially, well, I love both of them for different reasons. I love Antonio because he won't just give it to you. But Yvette, that brilliance, that political mind, man, I ain't seen nothing like it. And she don't flip, she don't flop, she don't do none of that. She gonna stand on it. And for all the people who calling her haters and all of this, man, I ain't seen a elder fight for people who ain't themselves till I seen her. And I'm here again. I'm born and raised in DC. Most people just care about themselves. It's all power. It's all hunger. And I don't watch Antonio Moore, and I wanted to disagree with him so bad. Shout out to him and Zoe when they used to talk about, the toxic tribalism. It was me. I'm sitting over here like, man, shoot, I don't like what you're saying. You're making me reflect, look at myself, the ugly parts of myself. But y'all don't want to do that. And that's why y'all don't like. I know why y'all. Because they make you see the inconsistencies in your ideology. Because a lot of y'all walking around here talking about y'all Egypt this and Egypt that, y'all Mother Nature, blah, 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 blah. Y'all kings and queens. But then you against imperialism. Well, guess what? To be a king and a queen, you got to have a kingdom. And the kingdom, last time I checked, is imperialism. Y'all be holding so many, but y'all don't want to have those real conversations. That's why, certain people get picked because in this political world, sometimes you get invited to the room because everybody know that you're a dummy. Well, not even a dummy. Let me not say this. We know that you can't argue certain points. We know that there ain't that much in that because the things that you say, I can play on. I can manipulate you. We got people who get paid to be handlers that y'all don't really know. Y'all just chasing. and saying something. Like, come on. Like, none of that made sense. Y'all hate them. You gonna let her say F you and all of that, no correction, and then be like, oh yeah, but we gotta have the moral high ground. What? What? Did you let people say that and do that type of stuff to you? Come on, brother. Stand up for yourself, man. I hope you ain't always letting people do that to you. You gotta have you gotta have better boundaries. That's what that's called. Boundaries. Y'all be safe, man. Thank y'all for coming out.